Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you are watching this. So I am Nzeribe from Nigeria. I'm a research assistant at an Institute of Pharmaceutical Research and Development here in Nigeria. And as the chairperson for public relations, all too soon, we are gradually coming to the end of the mandate. And I'm here to just give you a brief highlight of what me and my team have done so far. But first of all, no great work is done without a great team. So I'd like to thank first the steering committee and of course my public relations team, which range from the publications team that's headed by the publications coordinator, the media team, my social media managers, as well as the member relations coordinator. So these people are the best. You've helped in carrying out our activities and everything we've done so far. So I'm really, really grateful. At the beginning of the mandate, I had mentioned that there were three major things that were very important to me. And these are the three things that I'm really, really interested in making sure that we grow and we help ECPG grow and blossom so much. Previously, when I was acting as the publications coordinator, I had sent out a feedback asking for a feedback survey, asking for feedback from the members, especially with regards to the newsletters and what you want to see more. And yes, so we listened to you, and the very first goal was to make sure that we have increased engagements through our social media and through the bi-monthly newsletters and of course the Liaisons Corner. So with the social media, me and my team, we tried as much as possible to do some form of rebranding to make sure that we try as much as possible to engage, not just sharing the opportunities, but to also engage both ECPG and non-ECPG members so that they'll be interested in joining FIP and ECPG. And then, of course, our newsletters, we listen to your feedback and we tried as much as possible to make things, to implement the feedback that you had given. And the second one was the ECPO engagement. That's the Early Career Pharmaceutical Organizations engagement. So first off, we started with emailing them, trying to get in touch. And then of course, we created a WhatsApp group for easier communication. And then, and of course, for more collaborations in the future. And then of course, there are currently some ongoing projects, which I will let you know more as the presentation continues. And the next was team management and ECPG representation. This was, with regards to managing my team, and of course the team, the ECPOs, the network that we had, and of course we together with the steering committee and ECPG representation in various activities and events that were ongoing. So yes, here are the major highlights of what we did today. We did from January to September. So first off, I'll start with the member relations. So with the member relations, this Monday, we were really, really interested in making sure that we engage our ECPOs, that's the Early Career Pharmaceutical Organization. So first off, we featured the presidents of 3 ECPOs. That was the PSGH Ghana, Penanjifa Italy, and PSA Australia. We featured the presidents. We interviewed the presidents of these 3 organizations to, share insights in what they do, just as a way of inspiring young pharmacists all over the world. And also, this year we created guidelines for ECPOs that are interested in joining ECPG. So this time around, we tried as much as possible to create some structure that would exist to make sure that ECPOs that are interested in joining, they know what to do, and of course, they can follow suit when they try as much as possible to join the organization. And then, we had 3 new ECPOs joining us. Yeah, so we had 3 new ECPOs that joined us this time around. That's APGF from Brazil, APGF Brazil, IUPSA Turkey, and Finangifa Italy. They joined us. And then we were able to organize 2 networking events, including the town hall. So the town hall meeting that we had on the 25th of March was a 2 events sort of. So we had a town hall and then a networking session. So during this networking session, it was for both individual members and then our organizations. So it was a great time for networking. And then of course, during the town hall meeting, we also had discussions on how we can draft out the strategic plan, which I believe the president has mentioned a lot on. So with this strategic plan, we used it to make sure that we are able to put in every feedback that the members spoke about. And then, of course, we translated the guidelines. There was already an existing guideline. That's guidelines on how to establish ECPOs. So it's currently ongoing. We intend on translating from English to French and Spanish. And this is just to make sure that there is some form of inclusion and to make sure that every other organization can have access to what is in the guidelines. And then, of course, we featured IUPSA Turkey events on the ECPG social media. There was a symposium that they had, and we were able to feature them, and just as a way of inviting more people to attend the event. And then we created guidelines for individual members that are interested in joining ECPG. So over the course of the months, from January to September, we realized that people were really, really interested in joining ECPG. And there were a lot of questions. Some people didn't know how to go about it. And of course, the right thing to do was to make it easier for them. So we drew out a guideline for, just a simple step on how to join the ECPG. And of course, is awaiting approval. Once it's approved, then we can go ahead. And then under the publications, we listened to your feedback, as I said, and we featured, we tried to make it as much interesting as possible. And of course, feature a lot of interesting early career pharmacists that you want to know. So first off, we featured our immediate past president, Ms. Louisa, and we interviewed early career pharmacists that are making impact in their countries, a lot of them. So you will see more as the months go on. And then one of the ECPs that we featured was one of the participants of our last mentorship program that we had. She's also working as a mentorship coordinator. Then we also highlighted opportunities. There were a lot of opportunities this year. You can tell we had grants, we had scholarships for the Brisbane Congress. We also had remote volunteering positions. There were a whole lot, and we featured a lot of these things. We made sure that everybody had access to these things. We featured updates from the FIP sections and the SIGs, and highlighting the roles that our ECPG liaisons were doing in the sections and in the SIGs as well. And of course, we had global health articles, very recent, articles on current happenings, things that are happening currently. We make sure that we publish them. And of course, when it comes to the media, we did a lot of campaign. We promoted, we did a lot of promotions, as you can tell, that we tried as much as possible to engage both ECPG members and non-ECPG members on our social media platforms. So initially, we started at the first half of the year, we started with Monday productivity posts and Wednesday health tips. And then moving on, we made sure that there were consistent engagement with through our health posts. So from the latter part of the year, we tried to, from the latter part of the year, we made sure that we, what's the word? We engaged other things like a day in a pharmacy, a day in the life of a pharmacist. We also did stuff like and talking about the signs and symptoms of certain diseases, spoke about learning about your drugs, just knowing your medicines and all of that good stuff. And then, so I will just talk more on some of the things here. So with the member relations, under the member relations, I mentioned that we had 2 networking sessions, of which you can see here, the FIP ECPG networking sessions for the ECPUs, which we had in September. That was a few days back on the 12th of September. And then by my right, you will see the mirror, which we had used for the brainstorming during the very first networking session that we had in March, / the town hall meeting. So the mirror was supposed to use for the brainstorming for the drafting of our FIP CPG strategic plan. So that was the highlights. And then, of course, another major thing that we did was, as I mentioned earlier, was featuring our national presidents of the ECPUs. This was doing 2 major things. First off was to inspire young pharmacists that are reading our newsletters. And the second one was to just showcase what our ECPUs are doing, because during these interviews, we asked them questions about how they became presidents, what they are currently doing in their national organization, what they hope to do in the future years, or their vision for their national organization. Of course, I see this as a way of inspiring and also showing what they are doing as well. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, we did a lot of promotion. We promoted the activities of one of our organizations. And of course, we look forward to promoting more, because during our networking session, that was one of the things that we noted down. And of course, if there are events that are coming up and they would like ECPG to be involved, this is a way to go about it. So through social media promotion and of course further collaborations as well. And then of course we had the guidance on establishment of ECPU, which is currently ongoing. And that's of course a translation of the documents. And then of course how to become a member of ECPG. So we realized that there are a lot of people that are really very much interested in joining ECPG. And then on our social media, we had a whole lot going on, especially from July up until now. We had the countdown of the Congress. As you can see over there, see they also spot the sign. So for this will not just be for only ECPG members who are pharmacists, but this will also be for non-ECPG members, right? So we had the spot the signs of hypoglycemia, know your medicine. This is prednisolone. We also spoke about other drugs, and then CPR, talking about what CPR is, and then what to do when there's nose bleeding. And then of course, another interesting thing that we did this time around was from the FIP library, we know that FIP comes up with a lot of toolkits, and these toolkits are very, very essential. They are that are supposed to help improve our practice, pharmacy practice all over the world. So we tried as much as possible to get information from the toolkits, and then just in a customized way for an easier, since we know that not everyone has the time to read the whole of the toolkit unless it's very, very, very essential. But putting it in a short and snippet, as you can see over there by my left, you can see that we tried as much as possible to incorporate and make sure that we are giving out the right much information to our ECPG members and of course to our non-ECPG members. So we saw a lot of growth on our social media. First off, you can see with our Facebook, currently we have about 13,000 followers. On Twitter, we have over 4,000 followers. On Instagram, we have over 3,000 followers. Approaching 4,000 with over 500 engagements on our statuses. So anytime we have we make a post, which is, every week, like close to 4 or 5 times every week. You see that we get to see a lot of engagements. You're just seeing people just viewing the status and all of that. And then on LinkedIn, we had a whole about 420 new followers. So I think that's a good progress. And then moving on to the publications, we know that our newsletter was done bi-monthly. So this time around, like I had mentioned earlier, we tried as much as possible to make it short, but at the same time, make it easier for everyone to read and, make it very much interesting as well. So we interviewed early career pharmacists. We started with our immediate past president, and then of course, an interview with our mentorship coordinator, who was also a mentee in the last cohort of the mentorship program. We also had global health articles. We featured a lot of global health articles, thanks to our publications, thanks to the publications team. So when we spoke about pharmacogenomics, there was an article on precision medicine, and then there was an article on World Humanitarian Day. There was other articles on pandemic preparedness, just talking about the very current and recent happenings in the global world and in the global space. And of course, World Health Days, we made sure that we try to incorporate that in our newsletter. And of course, any FIP ECPG news, which included our Congress abstracts, call for abstracts, we made sure that all of those things were featured. So just trying as much as possible to keep everyone up to date and updated with what was going on. And then, of course, every opportunity, which included remote volunteering and whatnot, we also put it out there for ECPD members. And then with our bi-monthly liaisons corners, we had interviews, subject matter interviews. We also had articles from our liaisons, and then like our MEPS liaisons. We also had updates from SIGs and sections. And of course, this included the roles that our liaisons were doing in the SIGs. And we also, of course, we also featured any news and opportunities that we felt that are good enough for our members. And then, of course, we didn't forget to talk to you about the updates from the WHA. Yeah, so these are some pictures on the WHA. We had ECPG representing us, and we had ECPG representing at of course, ECPG was representing at the delegation, right? So as you can see here, we had 6 people, including our president and the chairperson for projects, and the rest of the 4 are also members of the subcommittees who also joined. So just to be sure and to let you know that that your voice was heard at the just ended WHA. So kindly follow FIP CPG. Follow us. If you're not following us on social media, I don't know what you're doing. So please, please, please follow us on all our on the social media platforms, on the Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So I'd like to use this opportunity to thank everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you to my team. Thank you to the steering committee, and thank you to ECPG members for reading our newsletters, and of course, engaging us on our social media. Don't forget to follow us, don't forget to like, and, comment when not. And of course, if you have any questions on what I just presented, feel free to send in your questions and get them ready. Thank you very much.